right, guys, it's Katie Dow with Raleigh Real Estate Law. I'm here with my very good friend and spicy Latina, Melissa Rosado with Triangle Property Law. We're here talking today about the top 3 things the best realtors do. All right, so like my number one is always expectation setting with clients.
Yes.
That I think is the biggest issue I see, is that you have not prepped your clients for what the closing process looks like, timeline considerations on actual closing day. Please stop showing up with a moving truck in my parking lot. Those kind of things, like know the process, know the basics of this job, and be able to explain to your clients how it could go wrong in so many different ways.
I'm really far away from you, and I just want to get closer.
It's gonna be a shit show. You know, they put us there for a reason.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, Oprah, tell me more.
We're dealing with human beings. We're dealing with lenders. We're dealing with
Are lenders not human beings?
title. We're dealing with buyers who are emotional. We're dealing with title companies, and in that process, things happen. And so, being a good realtor is about setting your expectations, setting your clients' expectations, so that when things like this happen, they're prepared for the bumps in the road, right?
Yeah.
And so, right?
There's so many bumps.
There are a lot of bumps.
And they're not all within our control, believe it or not. We can't control this whole process as closing attorneys, but there's so many things. More things go wrong, I feel like, in a closing than they go right.
Yes, absolutely. And most times clients don't know, but there are those times where things happen and realtors are like, well, how am I supposed to explain this to my client? Well, this is where you shine, right? This is where you make or break what kind of realtor you are, because if you set your clients' expectations and explain to them the process and what's going to happen, then they're not worried about a 2-day delay.
No.
They're not worried about the wire not coming in. They're not worried about
when do they turn their utilities on.
Right, right, because you've already laid that groundwork for your clients, and they know that it's going to happen. There may be some bumps in the road along the way, but ultimately the goal is get you closed, get you in, get you settled.
Number 2
would be
fill out the information sheets.
Fill out your information sheets, guys.
Yes, it's so easy.
Fill them out. Yes. So we are not being nosy.
No.
I promise. And
we don't actually like
not.
No.
We really don't. And we are not being pains in the asses. Like,
well, we might be
a little bit.
But we have to be. You know what I mean? We don't have the choice. These are information we need. And if you drag your feet on actually sending it to us, then that's your closing delay.
We actually need this information to process your file. And so ultimately, if we have that information in advance, it makes the closing process go smoother.
Yes.
And that benefits your client. And right now, in our current COVID state and the way the interest rates are at an all-time low, so we're busy. And so if we have this information beforehand, it prevents us from having to call, get it, and it creates delays.
Let's talk about the seller information sheet for a minute, because less on the buyer side, I'm more concerned about seller information sheets. This is like, I have sellers call me up pissed off that they have to fill out this information. Why do you need this information?
Right.
Because I don't know your social security number, and I have to do that to do a bankruptcy search, because I don't know your full legal name despite what was on the deed. What's your marital status? These are all things that impact
I have to order
this.
a payoff. When I call that bank, the bank's going to be like, I need their social security number. Well, then I have it, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want a phone call in the middle of a day on a Tuesday where you're working and I'm like, hi, I need your social security number. I need your address. I need this. I need that. If you provide it in advance, we can do our job with as little as input from the client as possible, or the realtor as possible, and that makes it run smoothly. It's efficient, it makes it run smoothly, and we're able to facilitate what we need to do to get you to the closing table, and that is our goal, right?
Yeah. It's not like I'm sending up an information sheet and being like, hey, what's your favorite color? Like, I'm just really curious. I mean, this is like stuff we have to know,
right,
to do our jobs, and it takes very little amount of time to fill out this information sheet.
And it makes a huge impact on how the transaction goes and
IDing issues well in advance when they come up on the information
Absolutely.
sheet. So we got number 1, which is setting expectations.
Setting expectations.
Number 2, give us the information we've requested in a timely manner.
Please.
We promise we need it. And our third one, what's your third one for what the best realtors do?
Stay in your lane. So the best realtors stay in their lane. We all stay in our lane, right? We all have a job to do. Real estate is transactional, which is a wonderful thing because it makes it super simple for those that can really understand the process. It is an A, B, C equals D. Like you will, every single time, if you do A, B, and C, you're gonna get to D. You're gonna get to the closing. You're gonna get to the table, right? And a lot of times I feel like, especially when things are busy, when people are
stressed out.
People are overworked, they're stressed out, they're overwhelmed. They try to be all things for all people, and we can't do that, right? So my job is to be your lawyer. I'm gonna work 150% to do my job, right?
Yeah.
But if realtors, lenders, agents don't do what they're supposed to do, it's very hard for me to do my job.
Yes. And it all ultimately, we're everybody's punching bag. We're the last thing that you see at the end of a transaction. So if you're frustrated with a lender, or excuse me, with a realtor who has not set your expectations appropriately, guess who gets to hear about it at the closing table? I've had people throw pens at me.
And that ties into setting, setting your expectations, right?
I would like to add a fourth one too. And this could be a quick one, but you better add this, Nick. And so you did the 1 through 3. I'm gonna add a number 4. Please, dear God, stop telling me, well, my closing attorney does X.
Oh,
because I'm gonna do the exact opposite whenever you say that. And if you haven't noticed, we're all on text strings together and friends.
Quick note, we all know each other.
Yeah. So
just a quick note, we all know each other.
Yeah.
So when people tell me, well, such and such does this, I'm like, bull. It doesn't, it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, they don't, because I just texted them and double check and they said
right,
they don't.
and they don't.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, my favorite. This guy says they'll do it for $600. No, they won't, because I just texted him and he won't. Actually, there are some that will do that, but there.
Yeah, there are, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah, yeah.
You get what you pay for in life. So like for me, like when a realtor tells me, well, such and such does this, or such and such charges this, here's my thing. I am not such and such. I'm Triangle Property Law. I'm Melissa Rosado.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
I know.
That's who I am. So when you come to me, you come to me because you want a certain level of service. You have an expectation as to what your closing is going to be like, and I'm gonna deliver that.
But we don't care what such and such does.
But right. I am not such and such.
All right, I'm gonna recap real quick because this isn't a 40-minute video, Rosado. We've got.
I love the camera, so I'm down. I'm down to video
right
for as long as possible.
I know. All right, so to recap, the best realtors are going to set expectations of their clients.
They are.
They're going to get us the information sheets.
They are going to get us the information sheets.
They are quickly, and they're not going to bitch about it. And then they're going to stay in their lane, and they're going to erase from their vocabulary, well, my closing attorney does X, right?
Yeah, and they're going to
she's got a 5.
Hold their client's hand and get them to the closing table despite the bumps, despite the challenges, despite all of the title issues and everything else that they have, because they are badass and they are good at what they do, right?
Exactly. All right, everybody. I want to thank Melissa Rosado, that spicy Latina, for coming and talking to us today, and thank all you guys for watching.
Gracias.
Look, I got that like exit thing down, that closing. All right, we got one more.